Hey there, my name is John Biethan. I'm with johnbiethan.com. And today, this is for me heartwarming in a particularly strange circumstance with COVID-19 going on. And I know there's been a lot of people struggling with how are they going to make it through. And what we have is a very, very inspiring story. Chris Chase and I know each other. He actually lives right down the street from me, but we know each other from the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce. And I just have a lot of respect for what he does, and he can tell you more about that right now.
John, thank you for taking some time to do this today. I know everyone's busy and working hard to keep their businesses going. And yeah, I own Chase Design, a company here in Carlsbad. Been in business for about 20 years, and we're a full-service branding agency. And Kara Dodds is one of our clients, and we've been working together for a few years and just really connected. I mean, she's a really good person. And Kara, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. I'm Kara Dodds, and I'm a pediatric speech language pathologist. And I've been at SLP for about 22 years. And I met you because I reached out. I own a pediatric outpatient facility for children with special needs, and we give them speech, occupational, and physical therapy. And we have had to, like many businesses, adjust to what we're working with now so we can continue to help our families.
Yeah. So Kara and I have been talking quite a bit lately, and we get our normal marketing branding requests from her. We've kind of created a look for her on a lot of different pieces we've been doing. And so we do a lot of pitch and catch, signage for the retail locations, direct mail marketing, email signatures, social media. And one of the things we've been talking about for a long time wanting to do was eventually get to her website and redesign it, because right before we came on board, she just had went through some work, and respectfully, we're like, well, you just did that. Let's just give it some time and start to build up some of these other branded elements, and then we can circle back around. So Kara, with all of her spare time, joking, is working on the copy for her website. So she's been sending me all this copy for her website, really good stuff. So she emails me, she's like, Chris, I'm so excited. Let's finally get this teed up and get going. I shared it with my team because everyone here loves working on Kara's stuff and they love her. And so it was just a cool moment. And then it just was getting weirder every day with this coronavirus. It was like, okay, are we not working? Are we doing this? Or, just emails were coming through, everyone's watching the news. It just was getting a little bit crazy. So Kara reaches out to me in the morning and she's like, hey, Chris, I want to move forward with these items. And so I was like, okay, great. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can work with Kara during this time, that'd be really great because it's a positive experience, and hopefully we can get things, cleared up in our world over the next, month or so, month and a half, 2 months. I just was trying to be positive. Kara reached out 2 hours later. She's like, oh my gosh, are you seeing everything happening? And I said, yes, I'm kind of freaking out over here, but I'm trying to stay level headed. She's like, me too. Can we pause on everything just to get through this? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like I would have done the same thing in her shoes. So I went from like excited to empathetic to, oh my goodness. And for some reason, I just was like, there was a couple clients that kept crossing my mind, and Kara was one of them. Like, what if I try to work with Kara a little bit here to say, hey, what if we were to work with you a little bit and work with your budget a little bit to see if we can maybe focus on something positive during this time to help your business? And no pressure, but if you want to do that, like I'd be willing to work with you. So she said, give me some time to think about it. And then it goes into, Kara, what you kind of came to as a conclusion and what you did. And this is where the story gets good. So Kara, you're up.
So yeah, exactly that. So, we're doing business as normal in the clinic. We see hundreds of kids a week. We have 2 locations, and we serve our military families, our, families with other insurance. We serve our early intervention population, our birth to 3 kiddos. And we're just doing business as normal. We're paying attention to what's happening. We made precautionary steps in the clinic. We removed all the waiting room toys. We were very active in cleaning. We had, every kid, which actually is a great routine for our children anyway, is hand washing routines. And we went through all of that just to kind of keep our center healthy, our staff healthy, the kids that came in. And as this is coming down the pike, and it's coming down very quickly, and a traditional model like ours, you can see I'm in on a normal Tuesday, this room would be full of children and their therapists targeting, I'm in the occupational therapy room right now, so they'd be targeting the motor tasks that they need to be safe on the playground, or, to complete their daily routines of activities. And we were doing pretty good. We had a couple of families concerned, but for the most part, families were coming. And I was working with Chris. And because what I learned after meeting Chris is I've been in business 19 years. I'm really good at what I do, which is being a pediatric therapist. But I'm also running a business, and I just needed to find a company that aligned with me, understood my mission, helped me redesign that mission, and really start to market that for our company, because the work we do and the therapists that we have are really committed. And so when I was working with Chris, in a matter of 48 hours, we went, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. And I started feeling more of this pressure of where is this going to go for our kids and families? Probably when the schools made the decision to close, which was just last Friday. To me, the last 3 days have been the longest year of my life.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but, I employ a lot of people. We see, 500 kids a week. We're here to continue. We're helping. We're in healthcare. What we're really good at is adapting and change and moving quickly for the sake of these families, because we're their constant. We're the ones that provide hope to many of these families. We're the ones that encourage these kids. And, our mission is to create milestone moments in children. And those milestone moments don't always come with these big meeting of goals. Sometimes it just comes with the smallest of tasks being successful. And when we started to our design, not only with our company, but even with our families, I knew I had to do something. And so I told Chris, wait a little bit, let me see what we're riding out. And then very quickly I saw this change of telehealth. So there's a lot of steps in telehealth that needed to be, it's just not like one day you can just assume to do telehealth therapy. It's really uncharted waters for most clinicians, and usually reserved for, populations that are more rural or those types of things. And also we needed to get permission from our insurance companies that we could even provide this type of service. So literally in a weekend, I reached out to our insurance providers and to set up just in case we were going to need to close. And, I give kudos to my staff. I give kudos to how quickly the insurance companies are working. They're working. They want us to provide therapy for their kids. They want their consumers to continue in this new normal that we have, but it's uncharted waters. Yeah. So then I reached out to Chris, because in a matter of 3 days, we got the approvals. We told staff, we changed our model, we got parents on board, we got them educated, we got them, the waivers signed. I mean, we did this for about 1,000 patients. And so it's a really big task. In the meantime of, like I said, the longest year of my life in 3 days. But everybody has been so positive. And that's when I reached out to Chris after I could take a moment, and when we were forced to close on Friday, officially and move this way, I saw so many successes with telehealth. And that's when I reached out back to Chris, and I'm like, this is so good for families. Yeah. It's been a real blessing.
Yeah. So Chris, if I may, Chris was really instrumental in helping you move this along, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Not only just because he's super positive And,
Yep.
but he's a go-getter. If I ask him, hey, Chris, I've got this idea, or I'm not sure how to put this together, he can make it happen. If I'm running into technical issues, he can take it over. And I know that it's done with my company and the kids that we serve best interest.
Yeah.
He's always available to me. I can text him at night, he gets back to me. I can call him, he gets back to me. But more importantly, he understands what we need to relay our message to our families. And I think in a world, the hardest thing for our families, not just our families, but any child with special needs, is to navigate the healthcare system. Okay, once they have a child who's been identified and they're confused in the educational system, they're confused in the, how do I get an authorization? So therapy, and we need a very consistent message. And Chris has just been, and his company, that consistent message for us. And he redesigned our logo to really represent how we work together, not only in speech, occupational, physical therapy, but with our community, our families, and our therapists. And it really is it's a heart connection that we have. And with my company, we're so busy doing therapy. We're just busy
Yes.
doing what we do. I needed a Chris Chase design. And it was the best connection that I've made, honestly. And I'm so excited. And even with what I've asked him to, we need to switch gears, and really people don't even know what telehealth is and how does it work and is it effective, and in a matter of 4 days, I'm asking him, hey, put this up on our site, let's get this word out. These are some great testimonials we've got coming in, and the feedback from our families of just having some normalcy for their children in a time right now where everything is unpredictable. And I know as a mom myself, we naturally bring stresses home to our family, and our kids are picking this up. And imagine our families now with special needs, where they don't have the consistency of their school program or their therapist, and where, our company and our Dodds and Associates therapists can come in. But we also need, companies like Chris to help get that message out, because I'm working so hard to support my staff right now, that's where my focus is. And I just know that he's got me covered. And I just want to thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how important that has been as a leg in what we're doing here.
Thank you. Well, you see how inspiring she is. And so I asked her for permission to tell the story, and I sent it to all my clients, and I just got several emails back saying, we want to do that too. Thank you so much for saying something. People are panicking and not making decisions, and Kara's very humble. She's a go-getter as well. I mean, we connect on that level big time because she's a go-getter. Sometimes I talk to Kara about a project for 10 minutes and talk about other things for 20, and I get off the phone. It's therapeutic. I mean, she as a business owner, as a business owner, it's happened so many times. And we've had other people in our company work with her, Jeff Spickler and, Aaron, and Jeff used to go meet with her a lot in her location. He's like, is there anyone better than Kara? He's like, I just feel so good with my time with her because she's so positive, but she's assertive. She stays focused on what she's trying to accomplish, and she knows when to say, what do you guys think? You guys help me do this. I'm great at these 5 things. These 5 things I need to get done, and we need to figure it out. And she leverages the right people, and that's why this whole thing is
that's great. I want to comment on this because in all this and everything that's going on, I wanted to mention at the top that today is March 24th, because people will see this on, and it'll be interesting to go back and listen to it. But what this all does for me, because I'm kind of doing the same thing, I'll tell a story in a second, a brief one, but what it does for our clients and the people we really care about, and people like Kara and Chris and anybody else, is that it brings certainty to their life. We don't know what's going to happen with the virus. We don't know if we're going to really get sick. We don't know any of that stuff. But when we're really supporting each other this way, we give certainty to people in their business. And as an example, one of my great clients is Relationship by Design. Sandy and Lon, older, late 70s, early 80s, 11 workshops throughout the country, like Seattle, Denver, East Coast, Northern California, Southern California. And 2 weeks ago, they said, we can't travel. Is there any way we can do this online? So we got our heads together. We went to work. We put everything up online, and it was all ready to go in 2 days. And that weekend, they had a workshop scheduled in Northern California, and they converted everybody online, and it went over really well. It was very, very successful. No hotels, no air travel, none of that stuff at all. So it's like, I believe that the whole business landscape's changing in a very, very big way. And this is such a great testimony, and I really want to thank you both.
Yeah, it's the kids over there. Kara's a part. Her company is a part of their lifeline.
Yes.
It's actually a relief for the parents to be able to come to these appointments. I visited the locations, sat in the lobby, looked around, saw these beautiful little children, and the parents look forward to that time, because when the kids are in those appointments, it's someone else that's actually more educated and can take on some of that responsibility that they deal with 24/7. And so her creating this telehealth setup was her way of saying, I'm still here for you. Right?
Right. And and not only for the families, but for my team. We have a team of therapists, full-time therapists, and they can see kind of this uncertainty that you were talking about, John, and the anxiousness of that. And not only just for their clients, but also for their personal lives. And getting on and figuring out, doing the work and just making this not just an idea, but also planning and training and implementing it. So our therapists also have a way to stay connected to the company, a way to stay connected, and keep their employment as well when so many other companies are shutting down. But it does all come back to the kids. What we know about pediatric therapy is, children can regress. And you were right, Chris. I asked a long-term family. We've had lots and lots of long-term families. Some kids we get to celebrate and graduate, and some's journey is a little different. And they're here, and we're working on those milestone moments. And I asked a family who had been here several years, why do you come to Dodds and Associates? And I think this was life-changing, what she said to me, because I expected her to maybe say, oh, the therapy, my therapist, something business, I guess. And she said to me, this is the only place I can come where I know my child is safe and I don't have to advocate for them. You've got it all covered. I don't have to fight with their insurance company. You just have it all covered. And I can just be a mom and talk to other moms here. And I think that we're just kind of a network, like a safe network for families, is something like my next phase I want to do for this company is during this time, because maybe it's going to be a few weeks, maybe it's going to be longer of this new design, is to set these, enable. I think special needs families can feel so isolated anyway, because they don't have, they feel maybe judged when they come into the community if their child's doing something that is socially inappropriate, or they're struggling at home, or we serve the military families, husbands and wives are deployed, and they're just trying to sustain this. And this telehealth is one piece of it, but also bringing our families together too during this time to say you're not alone, you're not isolated. But this web-based service, I think I'm very optimistic for how this is not just panning out for right now for our families,
Right.
but what it looks like in the future.
Yeah, and for people that aren't in the area for you.
Absolutely. Either aren't in the area, or, maybe they have siblings and the mom has to cancel the child with special needs therapy because the sibling is sick. Those days could be not what we're even considering moving forward.
Brilliant.
Yes, this should be a part of an option for a family to say, I can come into the clinic, but I really need that extra day. And in the lives of working families, this telehealth has just opened up this mission for us therapists to connect. And I'm really excited about it. I'm very optimistic. I give kudos to my staff because change is hard for anybody. And they did it with such positivity and in 2 days, like everybody else, that needed to change and adapt. And now again, working with Chris on, okay, these are my next ideas. How can we maintain this community of support? Because it is very stressful, just to have typical kids at home right now, and add a layer of uncertainty, or maybe a job loss, or an employment change, and your special needs child at home.
Yeah.
So all of this, just, there's a phrase I really like. It's called better together.
Yeah.
And this is a really good example. So
yeah, better together.
is there anything else either one of you want to say before we wrap it up?
Well, I'd like to thank my team as well. My team's all working hard on Kara's stuff right now as we speak, and they're all just rolling up their sleeves and getting it done virtually. I mean, I'm very proud of them.
Yes.
And I just want to give kudos to these, not only therapists, but, we did 115 telehealth visits in 2 days. And I just want to give kudos to the parents who are also jumping on board, trying to do things different, have open minds, and being really creative with their kids at home. This is going to make them feel stronger in the end, that they are using us, but they're also learning how to model these things and implement within their daily routines. And with all of this going on, we have parents that are jumping on board, and I just want to give kudos to everybody involved. But just thank you, Chris. Thank you, John, for the time.
You said 115 appointments in 2 days?
Yes, 115 in 2 days, and that was before we were closed officially by the state. So I'm looking at stats and data, but we're about 70-ish, maybe give or take. We're still working on the platforms. As you can imagine, our video platforms across the country have gotten some slowdown, so the therapists are working through that right now. But it's been very positive, and parents are right on board, and it's a great experience. The last thing I want to say is, working in a center like this, we have so many skills that we can work on because we've got them built here. We've got sensory swings and all these tasks and activities. But going into the home has opened up so many other modalities, because we can see, like, what does the child have a bunk bed at home? We can work on, climbing the skill ladder, no different than climbing here. And just having that bird's eye view into the home, I think, is just really going to help these kids. And then when they come back into the center, we can adjust our treatment plans here. So it's a win-win. I'm really excited about it, but maybe you can mix your therapies a little bit, where you're like, over the next 10, 2 of these we want to do from home, so we can get a sense of what's going on there too. That's
when are you launching the program for adults? It sounds fun.
I know.
No, really, I'm in.
Coming. Yeah, that might be
I'm in.
This is the first one, John.
Yeah.
I guess it is, right? Right.
Phase 1 was to adapt, train, and continue to be that support for our families. Phase 2, the sky's the limit.
Exactly. So, Kara, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? At KaraDodds.com?
KaraDodds.com. There's
and it's spelled KaraDodds.com.
Yes,
okay.
All D's is in David. And there's a form there they can fill out. They can always email me also at kara@karadodds.com. But all of our contact information is there. We have a couple locations here in San Diego. And even I want people to reach out. We're here to help families navigate. So if you need a resource, we're here to help you. Not just with the services that we provide here, but if we can help you with your school transition, if we can help you set you up for early intervention services through our state, we're here to help.
Nice. Chris, how do we get a hold of you?
Okay, chrischasedesign.com. And then the number and everything on there goes directly to me. So I'm here for any of your needs. If you guys need to do email newsletters or update your website, if you are in a business where you could use a teleservice through video or Zoom or something like this, it's really easy to set that up, and you just connect with your database, your clients, and say, hey, we're now offering this if we can help. This will work for people that are trainers or anyone in the medical profession or any consultant, really.
If I could add one more thing to the services that Chris does that I think is very unique, when I
Mhm.
went out looking for a company that could just redesign a logo, thinking it was just that of this little bubble, just redesign my logo. And after I interviewed many companies and decided to go with Chris, what he did for me was even take it back to the beginning. And I think a lot of companies, 19, 20, 25 years in, have kind of lost sight of that original mission, values, and vision of
Yes.
of the beginning. And Chris and his team took me through several month process, even before they would redesign my logo, of just that mission, values, and vision. And that really relit a fire in us, because again, we're so busy in just the day-to-day therapy, but to take a step back and go through this process that his team took me through in redesigning that, and then they got to know me better, and then we could move forward. So
Sounds therapeutic.
it
Yeah.
was like business counseling 101
Yeah.
for me, because you get so caught up in
Yeah.
the HR of it all, and then
Yeah.
to go back to it. So anyway, I think his company is very unique in that as well.
Okay, great. So one thing I want to mention, people can get a hold of me at johnbiethan.com, and that's Biethan. But the other thing I wanted to say to both of you is that I'm actually working and launching businesses now online as well. So I told you the story about Relationship by Design. I've also been listed on the Carlsbad Chamber to do the same, but my mainstay for 15 years have been podcasting. So basically, I help people get started with podcasting. They keep putting it off, and for a lot of reasons, like they think it's expensive and complex. What they really want is to just have a successful, profitable podcast. So that's it for today. Say
All right.
goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.